Hello and welcome to School Matters. We're so glad you've joined us for our program today. Our guest today is Mrs. Pam Walker, who is a CTE teacher at Burns High School, and one of her students, Eliza Hamrick, who is a senior at Burns High School. Thank you both for being here. Welcome to you. What a treat. And we're going to talk about something extra special. Mrs. Walker was recognized recently with our Hoyt and Andover Bailey Teaching Excellence Awards, and those awards are actually selected by the students. And Eliza, as one of the top students in her senior class, was able to choose the teacher who has had the most impact on her education throughout school, and she selected Mrs. Walker. So we're excited to talk to both of you. And if you don't mind, what we'll do to start with, Ms. Walker, if you will just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you teach at Burns, a little bit about your background.
I teach the Adobe Academy, which is Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and then the video programs at Burns High School. I've been in teaching 25 years. Got my undergrad at Gardner-Webb, then went on to get my teaching licensure and studied some Adobe products through ECU.
And you've taught a variety of different things,
Yes.
but always as a career and technical education teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Always at Burns High School, or you were at another school for a short
I
period of time?
started with the city of Shelby at the Marion Intermediate,
Okay.
teaching technology there first, and then
Yes, okay.
moved when we merged to Burns Middle and then to Burns High.
Okay, merger.
Yes.
That's something we had to talk about in a very long
Long
time.
time,
That's
yes.
history now, right?
That is, yes.
And then Eliza, if you will tell us just a little bit about yourself and what your plans are after you graduate in just a few months.
Yeah, so I'm a senior at Burns, of course, and I'm planning on being a commercial pilot when I grow up, and I'm planning to attend Embry-Riddle, it's in Daytona Beach, Florida, and pursue my dreams of becoming a pilot.
Wow, very impressive. Very impressive. Okay. Well, Pam, how did it make you feel to attend the Excellence in Teaching banquet and to be selected by a student like Eliza?
It was so humbling to see all the teachers and to hear their acknowledgments and to hear the students talk about the teachers. I just was very overwhelmed and very grateful that Eliza chose me.
Mm-hmm. And Eliza, talk about what does it mean to you to be able to recognize Mrs. Walker in such a special way?
I think it's important that I was able to recognize her because I think that not a lot of people know about Adobe, so it's kind of highlighting the subject as a whole, but also being able to show what an impact that she had on me and like being able to highlight just how much of an impact that she had on me and how good of a teacher she was.
Anytime a student can tell a teacher how much they've meant to them, what a reward
Yes.
with a career in teaching. I mean, that's just the ultimate reward, I think. Pam, talk about your teaching philosophy, especially within the area of CTE.
Career and technical education is a path to move forward no matter what career you're going into. And I see career and technical education as a great opportunity to teach not only the skill, but also the soft skills that they need for a career, whether it's a skilled career or it could be a professional career.
So Eliza, what helped you to connect with Mrs. Walker's teaching? What was it that helped you connect with her?
I think it was the different type of class. It was a type that was very unique, a class that I've never taken before, and also just Miss Walker's personality. She's very kind and sweet, and I think I was just able to immediately connect to her and her teaching.
Okay. Pam, as a CTE teacher, how do you work to make things relevant so that students are inspired to think about their future goals and career?
Lessons are designed around current settings. What's going on today? We work with a lot of clients that ask us to design different things within the classroom, and it teaches them responsibility and a work ethic that you don't get in some of the other classrooms.
Yeah.
Hands-on, just the fact that they can relate and see their product in the end.
And to help our viewers kind of understand Adobe, and you mentioned working with clients, you've designed logos for
Yes.
businesses. Give
Yes.
some other examples of things you've done.
T-shirts, logos,
Signage.
signage. Yes, I was trying to think. Even in our video class, we have videoed for events, and then our students have edited and actually processed a video.
That's awesome. That is wonderful. So, Eliza, in what ways was Mrs. Walker's class different? You mentioned the subject area. Adobe is definitely unique. It's not English, math, science, or social studies. So that, yes, of course, is different. But how else was her class different from the others?
I would say it's hands-on, but in a technology way. You get to be on the computer a lot more, and you get to actually, I think, show your personality through technology, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. You get to put your own personality and your own little unique quirks into the designs that you make.
Yeah.
And it's just really different, but
Yes,
it's
that's
unique.
great.
Yeah.
Use technology as a tool to be creative
Yeah,
and produce something that. So, Pam, what do you hope students remember most about their time in your classroom?
Just me as a mentor. I think being a mentor, no matter what the student's career path is going to be, that they can ask me and I can help guide them through different situations, whether it's scholarships or whether it's just deciding on a job, a career path. I like to be that mentor. It gives me an opportunity to get to know the student in a much better way.
Eliza, can you talk about something specific you learned in her class, or something you did, maybe a specific project? Is there something that just stands out to you that you particularly enjoyed as a student in her class?
I would say this is different from teaching. I think she taught me how to be open to new experiences. I used to be kind of shy as a 9th grader, and you know Miss Walker. She kind of brought me out of my shell, and I was able to join 2 clubs because of her.
Okay.
She wanted me to join 2 clubs, Unified Ambassadors and Skills, and I'm doing the competitions in 3 weeks, state.
Okay,
Very excited for that. And she just kind of opened a lot of opportunities for me and taught me to take any new experiences and really just be open to
Gave
them.
you some confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, great. And you mentioned Skills, and for our viewers, we'll elaborate just a little bit. That's Skills USA.
Skills, yes.
Which is a CTSO, a Career Technical Student Organization, and the students are actually, and Pam, you can elaborate on this too, but they're taking the skills they've learned in your class and they attend these competitive events, basically, to
Yes.
compete against students across the state.
Yes, and they're selected based on their rally scores, and Eliza and 2 of our other students will go on to state competitions to see what they do there.
And that will be in Greensboro in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You'll do well, I'm sure. So, last question, Pam. What did you see in Eliza as a student that makes her special?
Her mindset. It doesn't matter what challenge she faces, Eliza is going to pursue that challenge, and she is going to endeavor to do the best she can do. And her character makes her an exceptional student. I can't wait to see her fly. Literally.
Literally, that's what I was going to say.
Yes, literally.
That's great. So, Eliza, did you know that she felt that way about you? Or she saw that in you? Did you know that?
I would have hoped that she would see that in me. I definitely am determined about a lot of things. And I think she also was the person that kind of like brought that to me. She always pushed me to be open to experiences. And one of the students that she knew, Leanne, was that her name? I think her name was. She attended Embry-Riddle, and she let me know about her.
Leanne.
And I actually
Yes.
got to
So you
meet
helped her
her.
make a connection.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, from
That's
school.
great.
Yes, Leanne
That's
came
great.
back to visit one day, and I just said, Leanne, I've got another student that might be interested in Embry-Riddle.
Following in your footsteps.
Yes,
Yeah.
and just kind of pushed her.
Okay, so that was a
To make a
former
connection.
student and
Yes.
a current
Yes.
student. And you're
Yes.
able to connect them. That's
Yes.
great. That's what it's all about. What's one thing, if you can think of one thing, that Mrs. Walker taught you that you think will stick with you when you go to Embry-Riddle and when you fly the skies? What do you think will stick with you from now on?
I said it earlier, but I
Uh-huh.
think just being open to experiences, because I think taking any experience can really get you places, if that makes sense. Like being open to try new things can really like put you forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Helps you to grow and stretch, and you're going to do great things. You already have great aspirations and goals, and we wish you all the luck in the world. I can't help but ask you, how did you decide on that particular career and goal for yourself?
Okay.
What inspired that?
That's a good question. It did take me a while, I will admit that. So I think it started off first with the first flight I ever took, and it was to Florida, of course, because you know my mom, big
Yeah.
Disney fan. We were going to Disney, and I was like, this is really fun. I like seeing the sky and just being above the clouds, stuff like that. And then I kind of grew my interest from there, and the previous summer, I went on a Discovery flight, and that's like the first flight you take in a little Cessna. And I was like, I got to take control of the yoke and kind of feel around. It was really fun. And then I went to ECSU, Elizabeth City State University, in Elizabeth City, kind of near the Outer Banks. And I did a aviation camp, and I was like, wow, this is like something completely different than, I don't really hear many people talk about this. And it kind of just opened my eyes up to the world of aviation, and I was like, I really like this. And so I was like, I think this is what I want to do.
So a personal flight to Disney piqued your interest, followed by a Discovery flight, and then the
Yes.
summer camp. That's wonderful. That's great to hear.
Thank
Well, we
you.
wish you lots of luck.
Thank you.
And congratulations again, Pam.
Thank
I
you.
know it's very rewarding to have a student recognize you. I mean, it's great to get an award, but for it to come from a student is even more special.
Yes, it really was.
Well, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming
Thank you.
out.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll have more right after this.
Tune in to Senior Moments here on C19 TV. I am Jackie Sibley Newton with Terabella Assisted Living. Whether you are a senior, planning for your own future, or helping someone make decisions, Senior Moments has got information to share. We talk about the wealth of services, activities, and healthy living options available to you here in our area. That's Senior Moments on C19 and also on C19.tv.
Monica, over here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Welcome back to School Matters. Thanks for joining us. On the second half of our program, we're talking to Mr. Kevin Merritt. He is a teacher at Shelby Middle School and a robotics coach, which is what we're talking about today. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it so much. So you are actually a career and technical education teacher as well. We just had one on the first half of the program, and you're a CTE teacher as well at Shelby Middle School, and you teach. Tell us the courses.
So I teach 8th grade computer science, a 7th grade exploring business and entrepreneurship, and a 6th grade exploring careers class.
Okay, great. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. All right. And you're also the robotics coach. So talk to us a little bit about your role as the coach.
Sure. So I'm technically the assistant coach. Cody Hamrick, another CTE teacher, is the main.
Okay.
He's been there a little longer, but
You
being
work
on
together.
board,
It's a
we're working
partnership.
together this year, right? So it was a good experience. Enjoyable to get to know the kids and be a part of the process. I love Legos, and it was a Lego robot this year,
Yeah.
so that was a ton of fun to be involved with. So
Okay.
yeah.
So talk about the tournament was recently held, and you guys have worked all year to prepare students for this big tournament. So talk about what the tournament was like, how it was structured.
Okay. So we started beginning of the year with a tryout, and we had about 15 kids, I think, come out to try out, and 8 made the team.
Okay.
And so there was a selection process there to try to get the best of the best that we could for the time. And then we started building the Lego robot, building the table to practice on, and then prepping for the presentation, which was a dinosaur this year. So they began their work, and us as coaches just kind of guided that conversation and that effort. The tournament last week, we started with running the robot. We had 4 turns, I think 1.5 minutes per segment, and 4 tries to score our best score. We went to the team building competition second, which was 3 people under a tarp on a deserted island on a desert. So that was fun and enjoyable to watch 6th and 7th graders kind of walk around in a circle and try to figure it out together. The 20-minute part of that, they couldn't even speak to each other, so they were trying to teach each other sign language and learn some nonverbal skills before it even started. And then they got to go to the presentation component, which was about our dinosaur.
Okay. So there's 3 components to the judging. The robot runs, or running your robot, completing the missions, and then there's the teamwork component
team
and
building.
presentation.
Right.
Okay, wonderful. Well, talk about we said that you've been working all year long to prepare your team. Talk about that presentation, that preparation, what was involved?
We had practice after school almost every week from 3 to about 4:30. And that was a time for us to be in the room with them. Cody would take some, I would take some, and just guide them through the coding of the robot, the block coding of the robot, prepping the board. And Cody actually went out on maternity leave, so it was an opportunity for another teacher to step in. Deborah Summers was critical on prepping the board for the presentation. She's an 8th grade ELA teacher, and she stepped up big time to help them check their spelling, check all the words and the verbiage, and then make the board with their help. I mean, she just printed stuff and put it on the board, but she helped guide them in her specialty, which was really nice and cool to see, to get our presentation. I thought was wonderful. I thought they did a great job with that, and the board looked really nice.
So when you say board, you're talking about like a display?
Yeah, it was like a trifold display.
Okay, great. So were there any key moments or turning points as you prepared or during the tournament that itself that just, kind of made you realize, okay, the students are getting it, something's happening?
Yeah, sure. We were told after our first run that we had the highest score at that table for the day. And so that was a real nice, good job, guys, well done. We didn't complete as many missions the other 3 runs, so I think our average fell a little bit, but they were very proud to be that, all right, we did the best we could in that moment, and they were very excited for that. When Mr. Hamrick went out on maternity leave, Ms. Summers stepping in to help with that presentation was a huge turning point in the preparation process. And then the day of, just keeping middle school students in line was a pretty good challenge. Please walk straight and pay attention. And they did a good job with that. I was very impressed with their maturity and their focus, and they did a wonderful job representing Shelby Middle.
Yeah, and we can't would be remiss to not say that they did place third
Yes.
in the team building
Right,
component.
third in team building,
Yeah,
they
that's
got
great.
that award, so it was
That's
wonderful.
wonderful. That's wonderful to be rewarded for all your hard work.
Exactly.
So that's good. Talk about the skills. I mean, I've heard several since you've been talking, but talk about the skills they're developing by being involved in robotics.
There's a technical side to it with the coding and running the robot itself, and then an incredible amount of communication skills, learning how to manage their time, how to be leaders in their individual groups and prepping the robot and doing the coding. They really stepped up and impressed me. They spoke as clear and as loud as they could. No one said anything negative about any speech or any stumbles that they may have had. And then running the robot well, that first run was really cool. Seeing two kids kind of step up into a leadership role and take charge and make corrections on the fly. I mean, you have to line it up just right, and if it ran wrong, you could pull it back and readjust. And so they had to do that
Some
in a
problem
minute and a half,
solving and-
really quickly.
Yeah, so many skills there. So how do you help students handle the challenge, the failure, the success that they experience? How do you help them balance all that out?
I think as a middle school teacher, it's important to just remember that they are still younger students. They're not high school students that can drive and have working jobs, right? So just keeping them calm, keeping them focused and engaged in what they're trying to do was critical. Helping them, just guide them and mentor them to say, you're doing a great job if you're giving your best effort. And so we were constantly saying, hey, if you can't figure it out, we'll help you. But if you can, then we want you to do that. This is a student team. We're just here trying to guide your path. And so just encouraging them to stay focused, stay on task, and they've shown really well for that. They did a great job.
Good. So why do you think programs like robotics are important for education today?
I think it's critical as we build out the workforce of our future that students from a diverse background that Shelby Middle is have opportunities to not only excel in the classroom, in the school building itself, but even outside of the school in the community. There were, I think, 15 teams, maybe more, but almost every elementary and every middle school was represented at the competition. Cleveland Innovations was represented even, and it was just a really neat experience to see them shine a light for our school among other schools. And some of them wouldn't have that opportunity if it was not for a robotics team. They're not necessarily super athletes, and so this was an opportunity for them to shine at a skill that they're naturally good at outside of the traditional school, opportunities that kids have to be outside of the classroom.
That's such a great point. Talk about the impact the robotics team has on things like school culture, student confidence, leadership.
So I think for our school culture, our principal, Andy Roberts, came and was a part of the competition the day of, and that was good to see him have a chuckle at his students, for making a silly mistake or just watching them laugh and work together. I think it shows a top-down leadership from him to make it a priority still for our students, and that was really nice. It gives a sense of purpose and expectation of excellence from the top-down leadership at Shelby Middle, so that was wonderful. And just the confidence seeing these kids just shine and excel at something that it's just Legos, but they're kids and they love Legos, and so having something that they could do and were able to do and do well gave them obvious confidence. One student even asked me if everyone got a trophy, and I said, no, everyone does not get a trophy, but you get to come and do this. You get the experience of doing it, and that will last much longer than a small trophy will on your bookshelf. And so the t-shirt, the free lunch, all of these things, I think give them, I want to do it next year. I want to possibly pursue a career in tech later. It was just a really nice thing to see their confidence rise. And they had to be leaders. We did not guide them step by step. We did not code the robot. We didn't build the presentation. We didn't tell them what to say. So they had to pick all that on their own and execute their plan that they created. We gave them the parameters and the rules and the rubric, and so they knew what was expected of them, And they, as individuals and as a team, had to rise up to a position of leadership and really push forward to execute. It was really nice.
Great. Well, you did a great job.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate the time and energy that you put into this work as a robotics coach. And you mentioned a key word earlier, experience. And you know, to me, that's what education is. It's just a compilation of a lot of little experiences over a 13-year period
Sure.
of time, and then beyond if they go on and
I tell my
further their
students all the
education.
time that I want them to be able to learn how to learn. That the main goal for K-12 education is to get them able to handle learning something and then applying it for their future benefit. It's not just passing the quiz that I gave 2 classes today. Some passed, some didn't, right? It's not just that. It's that, and can you retain any information and apply it for your future? And I think that's how we have positive citizens in Cleveland County, and we grow students out of Shelby Middle that are leaders in our community, the state, the nation, and hopefully the world.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, and so well said. Well, thank you so much for your
welcome.
contribution as a robotics coach and as a CTE teacher. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of School Matters.